welcome back to the channel. This is my third and last part in creating a fantasy world. And this third part is landscape, how to create a fantasy landscape. So I did my pencil outline as usual ahead of time, and I'm doing my Sharpie marker outline of all the pencil. So technically I'm doing line and wash right now, so I'm going to get my watercolors out in a minute to do the color. So right now, in terms of terminology for this particular project, I'm using 1-point perspective for the bridge. So it's the simplest perspective technique. So you put your vanishing point where, say, the trunk of the tree is, and have the bridge go slightly wider and wider and wider as it gets closer and closer to the viewer. So the bottom part of the page will look a lot bigger than the middle part or higher up on your page. So that's how you create the perspective effect. So now I'm wetting my paper, so I'm going to do wet on wet, which is the technique for watercolor. So as you wet your paper, before you put your color down, the effect is really quite nice, especially for backgrounds and skies. So I put down my colors of blues, a little bit of browns to make grays, so you have a really nice background. So I'm laying down the grass and dirt for the platforms or the cliff leading up to the bridge, and then the bridge will be wood color, some nice browns for that. So I'm using browns as my base coat for the island, and then you add a little bit of blues for your light and shadows. So that'll give your stone or your dirt a little bit of three-dimension. So now I'm putting down a really nice bright green. So this is supposed to be like some sort of magical tree or island floating in the sky. So you don't have to use realistic colors. So you actually could experiment a little bit with a little bit of landscape. So I'm putting down a little bit of color just to have a little bit of brightness in the background for the tree, to have it stand out a little bit in the distance. And then the wooden posts, so I'm just using a basic brown, adding a little bit of blue to darken up the brown, to have a little bit of texture. This bridge is not brand new, so I like to make it a little bit weathered, a little bit gritty, a little bit dirty, so it'll look a little bit more apropos for the environment that I'm trying to create. So the most important thing is use your imagination, guys. Really come up with some sort of a unique landscape that will house the person and the creature that you did in part 1 and part 2. So really enjoy that. Use your imagination, and anything is possible when you're doing fantasy. Really push your imaginations and what can happen, what can't happen. Because anything is possible when you guys are doing fantasy. So really enjoy this project. Check out part 1 and part 2 if you haven't already, and really enjoy it. So here's my finished project, guys. So the techniques today: line and wash, 1-point perspective. So please place any comments, likes, please subscribe to the channel as usual, and stay safe and keep creating.